The story of Shirin and Farhad, one of the most beautiful and tragic love tales from Persian literature, has resonated with generations for centuries. It is a tale of passion, devotion, sacrifice, and ultimately, the tragic power of love. Set in ancient Persia, the themes of love overcoming barriers, persistence in the face of adversity, and the devastating effects of jealousy and manipulation are explored in this timeless narrative. The heart of the story lies in the devotion between Shirin, a princess, and Farhad, a stone carver, whose love could never be realized in life but was immortalized in their sacrifice. Shirin was a princess, admired not only for her beauty but for her wisdom, kindness, and grace. Born into the royal family, she was adored by many, yet her heart remained untouched. She was not moved by power, wealth, or beauty alone. Her soul yearned for a love that was pure and deep, untainted by ambition or social status. But such love was difficult to find in the court of a king like Khosrow, who ruled with great power and wealth. Khosrow, a king of great stature and influence, saw Shirin as the jewel of his kingdom, a woman of unparalleled beauty whom he could claim as his own. And so, he pursued her relentlessly, eventually winning her heart and hand in marriage. Despite their marriage, Shirin's heart remained restless. She did not share Khosrow's passion or affection. Instead, her thoughts were often occupied by another man, Farhad, a humble and skilled stone carver. Farhad lived a simple life, carving beautiful works of art from the mountains with his bare hands. Though poor in material wealth, he was rich in talent and spirit, admired by many for his skill and determination. But what set Farhad apart was his love for Shirin. His admiration for her beauty had first drawn him to her, but as he learned more about her character, her kindness, and her intelligence, his love for her deepened. Farhad's love for Shirin was not based on her royal status, but on the qualities of her heart. Farhad, though aware that Shirin was married to another, could not help but dream of a future where he and Shirin were united. His love was pure, untainted by selfishness or ulterior motives. He longed for the day when Shirin might return his feelings and see him as more than just a humble stone carver. Yet, he knew that such a dream was impossible, for the love of a princess could not belong to a man of his station. Despite her royal position, Shirin too found herself drawn to Farhad's talent and dedication. She admired the beauty he carved from the rock, the way he seemed to shape the world with his own hands. Yet, she was a queen now, bound by duty and her marriage to Khosrow. She could not allow herself to act on her feelings for Farhad, no matter how strong they might have been. Shirin's heart, however, would not be easily swayed. She saw Farhad not as a lowly carver, but as a man whose love was pure, whose dedication was unwavering, and whose devotion was unmatched. She saw in him something she could not find in the palace, something real, something true. In the quiet moments when Shirin and Farhad would gaze at one another from afar, there was a shared understanding, an unspoken bond that no one else could understand. Yet, Shirin was trapped in her marriage to Khosrow, a man who believed that love was a matter of possession, not mutual respect. He could not see the depth of Farhad's feelings, nor could he understand the pull of Shirin's heart towards the stone carver. Khosrow, insecure in his power and status, grew jealous of Farhad's influence over Shirin. He could not tolerate the idea of a man, no matter his skill, capturing his queen's affections. As time went on, Khosrow's jealousy consumed him. He devised a plan to test Farhad's love for Shirin. He sent word to Farhad, ordering him to carve a path through a mountain, one that would bring water to the kingdom and provide life to his people. It was a monumental task, one that seemed impossible, but Farhad, driven by his deep and unwavering love for Shirin, accepted the challenge without hesitation. He saw this task not as a demand, but as an opportunity to prove his love and dedication. If he could succeed in this impossible task, he believed that perhaps Shirin would see the depth of his feelings and they could finally be together. Farhad set to work, carving through the mountain with determination and precision. Day after day, he chipped away at the rock, his hands calloused and his body weary from the immense labor. The task seemed endless, the mountain an unyielding force against his will. Yet, Farhad never faltered. His love for Shirin was his driving force, and every stroke of the chisel was an expression of that love. The mountain seemed to resist him, But Farhad's determination was stronger. As he worked, he began to believe that no matter how difficult the task, nothing could stand in the way of true love. Shirin, upon hearing of Farhad's arduous task, was moved deeply. She knew that he was risking his life to carve through the mountain, and she feared for his safety. But her position as queen kept her bound, unable to act on her feelings. She watched from afar as Farhad worked tirelessly, his body growing weaker with each passing day. But even as she feared for him, she remained unable to break free from her royal duties. She was the queen of Persia, after all, and duty had to come before personal desires. Her heart ached with each passing day, but she could do little more than watch as Farhad continued his labor. Farhad's work was grueling, but he never stopped. His love for Shirin kept him going, pushing him to carve through the mountain, inch by inch. He was so focused on his work that he barely noticed the passage of time. The mountain, once a symbol of insurmountable challenge, was now slowly being transformed by his hands. The path that Farhad was carving was not just a path of stone, but a path of love, a path that he hoped would one day lead him to Shirin. But then, in a cruel twist of fate, King Khosrow, hearing of Farhad's progress, became even more envious. He could not bear the thought of Shirin loving another man, no matter how much Farhad had sacrificed for her. So, Khosrow devised a final, malicious plan. He sent a messenger to Shirin with false news. Farhad had died, struck down by the mountain he was carving. This news shattered Shirin's heart, for she had grown to realize the depth of Farhad's love for her. But it also filled her with a sense of guilt. She feared that she had not done enough to show her love for him, that her own hesitation had led to his death. Farhad, upon hearing the news of Shirin's sorrow, was devastated. He believed that his love had been in vain, that his efforts had been pointless, and that Shirin would never return his affections. His heart broke under the weight of this realization, and in his despair, he took his own life. His love, so pure and strong, had driven him to this point, but in the end, it could not save him from the crushing weight of his heartbreak. When Shirin learned of Farhad's death, her grief was overwhelming. She rushed to the mountain where Farhad had worked so tirelessly, hoping against hope that he might still be alive. But when she arrived, it was too late. Farhad was gone, and with him, any hope she had of ever being with him. She saw the path he had carved through the mountain, a testament to his love, and she realized that their love would never be realized in this life. Overcome with sorrow, Shirin could not bear to live without him. In an act of profound devotion, she took her own life, choosing to be with Farhad in death rather than live in a world without him. The story of Shirin and Farhad is not just a tale of love, it is a tale of the power of devotion, the cost of sacrifice, and the destructive nature of jealousy. It teaches us that love, when pure and true, has the power to drive us to do the impossible. But it also warns us of the consequences of allowing negative emotions, like jealousy and pride, to cloud our judgment. In the end, it was not power or wealth that triumphed, but the purity of Farhad and Shirin's love. Their story lives on as a symbol of unwavering devotion, a reminder that love can move mountains, but it can also destroy. Shirin and Farhad's love continues to inspire us, teaching us the importance of following our hearts and never giving up on true love, no matter the cost. It also reminds us that sometimes, even the greatest love stories are fraught with tragedy, and that the purest of loves may not always have a happy ending.